Hello, I'm Lindsay Dunn from One of My Stories, a podcast about the stories that are shaping me. As part of my Tribeca Film Festival coverage, today I'm talking about Darkest Miriam. I'm joined by director and screenwriter Naomi Jaye and one of the stars, Tom Mercier. Naomi and Tom, welcome to One of My Stories.
Thank you so much for having us.
Hello.
Naomi, let's start with you. This was the first film I picked that I wanted to watch because I'm a librarian by trade.
Hey! Amazing.
And I know it's based on a book that you fell in love with at first bite. So, what drew you to wanting to option the incident report as a movie?
I was in a bookstore and saw this book on the shelf, loved the cover design, picked it up, read the first page, and then called the publisher. I had never adopted a book before. I didn't know what it meant to option a book, but there was something about the voice of Miriam Gordon, the librarian, that I was just felt so compelled to turn into a film. Yeah. And then I got in touch with Martha, and this was a very slow process. It took 14 years from option to today. So over those 14 years, we've become very good friends. And she also is a librarian,
Mm-hmm.
part-time. So she took me into the library and shared all sorts of stories, and it's become a wonderful relationship.
And I heard that you knew instantly that you wanted to have Tom play the Janko role when you saw him in the trailer for Synonyms. What grabbed your attention in that trailer?
All I can say is it was like what grabbed my attention for the book. There's just a feeling that you get sometimes, not always, when you know something is going to be right, or you know that there's something there. And when I saw Tom on screen, there was something about his performance. And again, I can't tell you specifically what it was,
Mm-hmm.
but there was something about his presence or an energy that I got from what I was seeing that I felt immediately like he was the one who had to play Janko.
Mm-hmm. All right, Tom, let's hear from you now. Janko was such a complicated role. He makes this very unusual art and spends his days reading alone in a park. How do you think Janko sees the world?
I think Janko have this. First of all, he's a taxi driver. He's a taxi driver that being existed by sounds. So Janko is a person that is existed by sounds. It means that when a teacup, or the electronical one, are getting closed or open, he is being existed. I don't know if it's clear what I'm saying, but it's a guy that he is very alert to life. So even in the book, if you will read it carefully, you will see that there is a very beautiful way of describing sounds. And I think that Janko, in certain ways, he is a sort of a sound that is moving. Afterwards come a body and text, and how you learn in text and everything. But I think, first of all, is someone that's reacting to sounds.
Mm-hmm. That's fascinating. That was not the answer I expected, but I love that answer. It definitely gives people something to think about. If I was Tom, I would be so confused. He shows his art to Miriam and she says she's going to go. Then she kisses him and comes on to him. How do you think he sees Miriam and what draws them to each other?
This is exactly that feeling that when you have those kind of meetings, you don't know precisely never why you are getting so attached to a person. I think the simple reason is that you don't know. I think people that we didn't know why we are so attracted by them are the ones that always say in our lives for forever, or we will have a very good moments in our life with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the mystery. It sounds like there's a mystery to her that, and for Miriam too, and Janko, that's what draws them together is the mystery that they can't know fully almost. Okay, Naomi, you certainly put your heart into trying to make the library feel like a fully realized space filled with unique characters. And it's not just the characters, but also just the way you filled the space and, you know, placed everything and the way you used the camera to show that space. So how did you go about figuring out what shape that space would take?
So, like I said, I had kind of developed this friendship with Martha. I had spent, like, I was a library kid. My mom and took my brother and I to the library all the time. So it's a very familiar space to me, libraries, public libraries. And then we spent all this time in pre-production at library school, and we would all go to Martha's branch and like look around and really figure out what is it that makes the space feel like this. And then we had two separate locations, actually. We shot all of the stuff that happens in the stacks at a university in Hamilton, Ontario, which is just outside of Toronto. And then the kind of main floor of the library where, you know, people are coming in and out, and the main I don't know what you would, the circulation desk.
Mhm.
We built that. That was a build in just an empty storefront in Hamilton because we couldn't find the location. So again, it was just like lots of conversations with the production designer and lots of research done into how to make this space really feel like an authentic library.
And what about the characters? Are they like characters from the book, or are they ones you pictured in your mind as like, this is the type of person that would be in a library?
All the characters are from the book. Some of them are amalgams of several characters, because of course there's a lot of people that come in and out of the library in the book. But they're all from the book. So, and they all had those names. There were, you know, the way that she identifies these people whose names she doesn't know because they're kind of in and out, in a way, have these, you know, these really intriguing names like Suitcase Man or Unusually Pale Female Patron. And they are all direct from the book. Yeah.
Tom, your intimacy with Miriam felt very real to me. There was chemistry, but also a lot of vulnerability in your performances. What steps were taken to make this possible?
Working a lot and not asking a lot of questions. I think just to repeat things sometimes, and just to be able to engage yourself to do the same thing every day. It's a bit like sport sometimes. And afterwards, I think that Naomi just gave us some keys for certain doors, and we needed to open them. And I think it was very good because Naomi, she's giving a very spatial environment, and you're not feeling that she tried to control something, but instead she trying to capture moments. And it's giving you a very delicate and a bit scary place, because you really need to take responsibility about the space and to capture those little intimacy moments that are surviving in between Janko and Miriam.
So I'm also intrigued by what previous works are referenced in the film, and always assume they have double meanings. In this film, we have the opera Rigoletto and the book that Janko is reading, Kekek. And is there anything about either or both of these works you hope viewers notice or think about that would help them appreciate the film more?
I mean, Rigoletto is really an important story for the film. So, meaning that if you do know about the story of Rigoletto, I think it will deepen your understanding of the film. And if you don't know, it's not a deal breaker, obviously. So, I would encourage people to do a little bit of a deep dive into the story of Rigoletto. And then Kekek, I haven't read it since Slovenian, so I don't think it exists in translation. And that was, both of these things were in the book. And Martha let me know that she had once she had made the character, the lover was going to be Slovenian, that she had a Slovenian friend and was asking what could he be reading. And Kekek is a very popular children's book in Slovenia. And as it happens, it, you know, thematically has a little bit to do with what we're talking about finding your bravery and, you know, going on adventures and taking risks and all of those things. So it also, you know, is an important one for the film, but Rigoletto really, you know, has a lot to do with what's going on, the subtext of what's going on.
I've definitely been Googling both of these works to see like what are the puzzle pieces that I can glean. We're coming to the end of our time here. Tom, what do you think viewers should learn from Janko and Miriam's time together?
Not everything is supposed to survive, but there are things that will echo forever.
Mhm. That's beautifully said. So, Darkest Miriam is having its world premiere at Tribeca 2024. How can people get updates about the film if they're interested in seeing it themselves, whether at the festival or after the festival?
So Instagram is probably a good place to go. We are posting a lot of the reviews there and upcoming events. We will be also screening at the Fantasia Film Festival, which is a fantasy and horror film festival in Montreal. And that's going to be sometime in, the second half of July. But I would encourage them to either go to my Instagram, or it's also on Tremendous Productions. I'm sure Tom will be posting. So I guess Instagram. Instagram is where you should go.
Mhm. Okay, well, I'll definitely put that that link in the show notes for this episode. And thank you so much, Naomi. Thank you, Tom, for your time today.
Thank you, Lindsay. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
And I'll
Thank
see
you
you
very
guys.
much.
Oh, sorry, Tom, I cut you off there. Go ahead.
No, thank you. Have a great day. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, and see you guys next time on one of my stories. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.